Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk Preacher Season 1, Episode 5. I like this episode. I really like this episode. It started out with some mystery, kind of got a little weak in the middle at a few points, and then it really ended strong. Probably one of the best endings so far in this series. First thing first, the cowboy. Still a freaking mystery, but right now I'm kind of getting the vibe that he had his wife and kids sick back at home. He came into town for some medicine, got into a scuffle because he was trying to save a family that he thought was going to get brutalized, because while he was there, he saw another family getting brutalized, and by the time he made it home, because of the preacher at that point in time shot his horse, causing him to have to walk back home. By the time he gets home, his family's dead. There's this really beautiful, tragic, creepy, but beautiful image of his house, and then the birds flying up, getting out of there, because when he opened the door, they were eating his dead family, and they're flying up out of the chimney. Really like that visual. It was sad, it was tragic, but beautiful, all at the same time. And then we open up to Cassidy. No, not Cassidy. Preacher by that same tree we see just outside of town. The tree that in the cowboy time the Indians were hanging from. Now, I don't know yet how that plays into the story. Moving on to Tulip and Cassidy. I really like her interrogating him, being a vampire. Her story fell a little flat in this story. I know she came up to the preacher when he was talking in the diner. She had a cool moment where she's talking about how he's bad, and he shot a kimono dragon in its face, and then he's like, well, they were going to eat it. They were going to eat it anyway. And she's like, you don't know that. And he says, they had a fire pit, you know? They put in some humor there, but her story kind of takes a turn for the worse after that. When he tries telling her, you want to be good, she goes out to be bad, and she robs a pharmacy, I'm assuming, because then she brings Cassidy prescriptions. And then it goes off the rails for me, because then she just fucks him in his car, and it's like, yeah, that felt off. You know what I mean? That just felt so stupid. I know that's a cliche thing. You always see this, and maybe I should put in here, you get this. Chick likes the guy. Chick sees another chick, doing what the fuck ever near the guy's house, and then she just goes, bangs a guy. It's some of the dumbest writing in a movie that we see almost all the time, that I'm getting sick of seeing it. I mean, fuck. I mean, anything. Have her like the guy. Have her anything. Just fucking anything. It felt so bland, generic. You see it coming a mile away. As soon as she sees that girl folding clothes, I'm like, well, Cassidy's getting some. I mean, good for him, But it's just such shitty writing that we should just stop seeing in movies and TV. I'm sorry, I hate it, but if I could be wrong, but it feels like we see this shit all the time. I mean, Tulip in that moment feels like a dumbass waiting around for this dude, and then she sees a chick folding clothes. I'll give her credit, it's suspect, and then she's pissing, that's Preacher's house, ain't it? Did I get that mixed up? And then right from there, she assumes that Preacher's banging this chick. She doesn't bother asking anything. She could have just asked something and then been like, oh, okay, fuck, this is a complete misunderstanding. I almost banged a fucking 150-year-old vampire because I was being a dumb bitch. At least I asked a question, and now I don't gotta go get that old dirty dick in me, So fuck, travesty, averted. Moving on. Donnie is terrified because he sees Quincannon talking about going to church, and now Donnie knows something's up. So this is leading into certain characters that right now Donnie does not like the preacher, but now he knows that something's going on because the preacher did it to him. Maybe he didn't understand it, but then he's starting to put the pieces together, because you have the bus driver, you have Donnie who has first-hand experience, and now he's seeing a man, Quincannon, who he has worked with for fucking years, right? Donnie's his right-hand man, so he probably knows him really well, and he's seeing him, and this is not the guy he has been working for the past few years, so, or probably even longer. So it's red flags like a motherfucker. So this is one person that can throw a wrench into the story at any time, start digging up things. I don't know what direction it's going to go, but by the end of this episode, I'm really liking the direction it's going to go. All right, we get some more information with Eugene, and I didn't pick up on this before. I could have missed it, but remember I asked what happened with the girl who got a busted head, and a lot lot of people actually said she fell off a horse or maybe got kicked by a horse. I don't know if that was in the comic because we literally had a shit ton of people mention that. Maybe there was a picture of a horse. I don't know. I didn't see it, but from the sound of it, it sounds like Eugene did that in a car crash, car accident. Maybe he hit her. He was drinking and driving, something. That's what I got out of it. So he hits her, puts her in a coma, caves in her head, and then he goes later on and tries to kill himself because of the guilt for that. That's what I got out of that. And it was a pretty strong moment where the mother comes out and starts beating the shit out. Well, first you get his father being like, well, no. First you get people sneaking into the house with a shotgun there, finish the job with an arrow. That's fucking deep. I felt bad for Eugene. I know a lot of comic readers were like, oh, you're going to feel bad for Eugene, arseface. Well, then after that, his dad flips the fuck out. And at that moment, I felt real bad for him because his dad is like, just fucking end it already. Finish what you started. Whatever. Do what they said. That was some cold fucking shit right there. So now I'm really feeling bad for Eugene. And then on top of that, the mom comes running out, beating up the car, flipping her shit. And it's a really powerful scene. But when the preacher comes up and he's like, forgive him, it feels like a cheat a little bit. I mean, it's a strong scene. It's a strong moment. Emotions are running high, but it feels like a cheat. Does that feel like a cheat to anyone else out there? Because I don't know. It's like, you're cheating, preacher. What the fuck are you doing? It's still cool for the story, but it feels like a cheat. But then we get to the ending. We might have missed a few things, but then we get to the ending, which, like I said before, it's the best ending in this series yet to an episode. A lot of comic book fans were telling me that what is in the preacher is like the Word of God. That's the best way to describe it, and that was a genius way to describe it, I feel. And it's a lot better than just giving someone a spoiler, because when I'm watching the end of this episode and he calls it the Word of God, I think preacher calls it the Word of God or something like that, and the angels are looking at each other and they're like, oh, he thinks it's the Word of God. And then he's like, wait a minute, what is it? And then they cut to Quincannon, which it was a creepy vibe, and I knew something was going to go terribly wrong because we've seen that already. Then he just pulls out a gun and blows these fucking guys away, and we cut back and they're like, it's not God, it's a mistake. No, maybe that was in the previews. I'm sorry, that was in the previews coming up in the next episode. But that reveal that, that is not the Word of God, that's some other shit. That right there, ending it there, gave me a whole new level of mystery, a whole new level of interest, whole new level of curiosity. This is the episode. I know for episode 4, a lot of fans were saying, episode 3 was slow, but 4 is going to win us back. Trust us. And I have to say, you guys were wrong. Episode 5, in my opinion. At this moment, I am more interested in this series than I have ever been, even before it started. Really did like the ending to this, and the previews for the next episode, just hearing that it's a mistake, not the Word of God, but a mistake, and also that if angels find out we're down here and they can come and get this power, right there, just hearing those little bits and pieces. I might have got some of that a little wrong, but just hearing what, kind of ways this story can get twisted, fucking love it. Can't wait for the next episode. Can't wait for it. Oh man, fuck yeah. Preacher was definitely a win tonight. Let me know what you think. Put your thoughts and opinions down in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.